Hey there, sweet Elisa. Thank you so much for joining me today.
Hey.
and I love where you are because, like I told you, I said wherever you are, it doesn't matter. Just it's fine. And well, this is something I wouldn't have imagined before. Being in a shoe shop, I think it's the most original thing ever. Oh, awesome.
It's about the authenticity of the moment, right?
Yeah,
So,
exactly. I mean, there are no conditions, right? So wherever you are, you can dive into this energy and be who you are. Yeah, awesome. Yeah, and now that I'm thinking about it, I wonder what symbolism it has to be in a shoe shop. You know, it's like. Well, you don't wear shoes, by the way. So what are you doing there?
I actually so I was out running.
Yeah.
And my friend, he owns this shoe shop, so he's trying to get me to eventually wear shoes in the winter. Oh, that's why we're in the shoe shop.
Well, I wonder if it will work out.
I don't think so, but you can't blame a guy for trying. So.
Yeah, well, I'm so excited to talk to you. I met you actually for the first time, I think it was 2016. I remember it was winter and it was in Roermond in the Netherlands. And my first impression of you was, wow, this girl is free. You were standing on the tables. It was cold and you had something very short on, you know, and just in communication with your guides and everything. And it was really beautiful to see someone, such a free spirit, just being exactly as you are, you know, that really warmed my heart. And it's inspiring. It's inspiring to meet people like you. So I'm sure there are plenty of interviews and articles and all kinds of things about the story of your life. So I'm not going to ask you about that right now. A question I do have for you is, do you remember the moment in your life when you suddenly got like that realization, this is why I'm here. This is why I'm here on this earth.
I had more of these moments, but the how can you say, the transformation feeling is this openness of integration of existence that I think I was in Rennes-les-Châteaux in France, and I was walking around singing to the nature and crying and had 40 degrees in fever and everything was just chaotic, you know. Mm-hmm. And somehow doing the walking and the talking and the crying, I had this feeling of understanding why I was on earth and why it was important for existence in this moment. And it kind of gave this feeling of relief and freedom and responsibility at the same time.
Yeah.
So yeah, I think this is what pops up when you ask.
Yeah. So you're saying it was in a state of I don't know, the way you describe it, I can feel that experience was like your soul is suddenly naked or something, you know, like all these layers dissolve and you have that realization of, well, there is definitely a reason why I am here in this time, right?
Like completely transparent. It was a feeling of completely being transparent, like, yes. Okay, it's fully surrendering, fully light, fully whatever is, this is it. There's no twists and turns. It just is this existence of whatever that means, and that's what I am and why I am.
Yeah.
It's like, okay.
And so what is it, how do you express that, like in all the different things that you're doing? How do you give expression to that? What is your part in the bigger picture?
Just everything is good. Oh yeah, yes, no, this is perfect. Kusi. Could you ask again? I forgot what you.
Yeah, sure. But I thought it was funny anyway, you know, whatever was happening there, like the sentence you just said, everything is good, you know. So I was like, yeah, that pretty much sums it up, you know, everything is good. Yeah, my question is, what do you feel your part is in the bigger picture, you know, and what is pushing you forward to do the things that you do? What is your part here?
For me, I cannot not do what I'm supposed to do. This was something I learned pretty fast. It's that it's unable to not walk the direction of which was meant for me. So I don't put so much pressure on myself to figure out how and when to do what, because that is just in the flow of existence. What I do know that I need to do is I need to be me, yeah, as authentic as possible in every single moment, right? And the representative of that energy of which I hold is the main thing. Then you have all these other things where, like, I would like to open as many heart as possible, reconnect the pyramid grids, but in essence, all I need to do is be here. Yeah. Then that energy works for itself. And I believe it's very much about this thing about as more authentic we can represent our energy, as more authentic we can help people trusting in their own. And that is so important for this time in this incarnation. And to bring light here, we need to also dare to, for me anyways, it's about daring to include everything. That being this unconditionally light, yes, I can only be because that I do include everything, and I don't fear having feelings or stuff like that. It's part of life, and I believe being a representative of that has a lot to do with what is going on.
Yeah, I think so too, and I think that's also part of the message that I've seen you present or live. That's something I noticed from the very beginning, is that you always showed all the different aspects of yourself, you know, even in times, I remember, like, it was years ago when you were in the middle of a panic attack, you even like made a video of it, you know, you were like so transparent and vulnerable in, look, I have fears, you know, I'm vulnerable. Sometimes, like, you always speak about how being human is messy, you know, and just it's not only this ideal image of perfectionism we have all the time, and you do show the full scale of life. I've always noticed that in you too.
I think it's so important because if we focus on only one state of being or one state of existence, we neglect a really big part of ourselves. Plus, we do this spiritual bypassing thing, which means that we are not actually growing. What we're doing is we are escaping and we are hiding, and then as a planet, as a collective, we will not move in the direction of which we are supposed to. So in order of change, we need to first be fully included and love that part. And when that is loved, then we can change and flow with it. Yes. So I think this is why I feel it's so important. And even I had this point, I remember this point because I had this point where I was just floating around, slightly not so grounded. And I didn't link to human layers. I didn't link to the pain and the suffering. I didn't link to anything at that point. I was just floating around. And it was like having these wings looking down upon humanity and going like, do I really want to take part in this? You know, it's like, really? This is easier being up here. Yeah. But I made the decision that I wanted to because it is absolutely amazing. It is chaotic. It can be painful, but what is pain anyway? It's just an experience, and it's an experience that brings you closer to understanding the value of the opposites, right? So for me, I believe that it's all important. I have this deep death fear, which is really ironic because
Yeah.
I know exactly what happens after life and I don't fear it at all.
Yeah.
But this is still planted. At some point I was like, okay, why do I have this?
Mm-hmm.
And the universe goes like, well, the fear makes you move. So when we think you do things too slow, which is not so often, but when we want you to move country or follow something, we give you fear so you move. I was like, guys.
Yeah. Otherwise you get too comfortable. Yeah. So
Exactly. I'll just be like, no, we do the next life. Who cares? You know, but no.
Yeah. It's also a very important thing I heard you say just now is how it's very difficult to shift through the things we're struggling with if we haven't reached that point of being able to love that part of ourselves too. Yeah, and this is something that I also mentioned to someone the other day, so I totally resonate with that, is when we are in that state of judgment of good and bad, you know, and we want to move out of a situation because we don't like it and because it feels painful and we can't accept it, you know, trying to change it then when we're hating it, it doesn't work, you know, we stay in that same battle. So
it becomes a new pattern. So
yeah.
We have a lot of these spiritual people that it's like, oh, I just want to be happy and light all the time. And what happens is that then it becomes a control issue. Then you look down upon feelings, you look down upon parts of yourself, and you neglect it to the degree that you neglect such a big part of yourself, that becomes unauthenticity. Then it becomes the very thing one wishes to run away from. And
we do look down on it, and I definitely recognize that for myself in the past. For me, even admitting to myself that I had those uncomfortable human feelings, I didn't even like being called human. You know, if people told me, you know, oh, you're such a kind person or human, I was like, oh,
I'm no human.
Don't call me that, you know. Being human, having human feelings, it felt almost like degrading in a way, you know. But now, finally, I've also reached that point of embracing my humanness, and that is such a relief to reach that.
Oh, that's beautiful to hear.
Yeah, such a relief. And yeah, you've definitely played a part in that. Just having you in my life, and you know, the times that we've connected. And I do see how you definitely play a role in encouraging people to discover their authenticity. It's something it's important to me too, also in the work that I do with others. And the more authentic we become, the more others, you know, have the
inspired to dare to be authentic themselves.
Yeah.
So
I'm all in for this growing authenticity.
Amazing. I love that.
So one more question. If you in this moment, besides all the things that you've just said and the messages that you have, if in this moment you could send out a wish or a blessing or a gift for humanity, for the world, what would that be?
I think my very wish would be for humans to love themselves. Like, it's so profound. It's this thing where if you can just accept yourself the way you are, you don't have the need to do a lot of things which is unhealthy for you and your surroundings. So I mean, if I cannot say what I already said, then this will be it. Or else my wish will be like allowing them to be authentic. Just what would happen if everybody just owned their authenticity? Like, life will be so exciting. And beautiful, but a little bit messy, but I like messy. So
but that authenticity is linked to what you're saying about loving yourself, because that, like you said, accepting yourself. Because for me as well, self-acceptance doesn't mean we like everything or agree with everything, you know.
It's accepting it's a part of you, and I mean, as long as you don't have resistance upon it, you include it as a part of yourself until it's no longer a part of you. So it's more the thing about standing true to the color that you are, and not the idea in your head of what you should be, you know. And like me myself, I'm experiencing in the moment that my perception of relationships, for example,
Yeah.
is really outdated. It's something that my parents learned me, and but the way that I truly feel about relationships is completely different. So I was like, okay, so now I will accept myself and the flow of how I truly feel inside and follow the authenticity in that. And that is, there's so much freedom in the way that I perceive that, because love is love. You cannot put it in a box. You cannot say you can only love one person or whatever, because everything is love, right? So it's how do you create authenticity in your true beliefs and your true being, even when it's so radically different from what you have learned. And this is super exciting, like allowing yourself to fully, so I wish that for humans.
Yes, that's beautiful. Yeah, I love that. You know, discover new ways and create your own path, you know, create it. And like, yeah, love is love. I like that one too. I think we're gonna definitely highlight that as well.
Yay.
That's the simplicity of it, right? Yeah. Elisa, thank you so much for your time and for doing this spontaneously. Yeah, I really appreciate it, and sending you my love, and looking forward to seeing you soon.
I'm so happy that you invited me, and I'm looking forward to see you too, for sure. Always in my heart.
Thank you, sweetie. Lots of love.
Today.